Long before the great empires of Europe rose to power, in a land of endless jungle and sacred rain, a civilization was born that would stun the world for millennia to come. The Maya. They were not a single nation, nor a single people. They were a constellation of city-states, each with its own king, its own gods, its own story, yet bound together by something deeper than borders. A shared language, a shared faith, and a shared vision of the universe itself. The land shaped them. The Yucatan Peninsula, a vast flat shelf of limestone, holds no rivers on its surface. Rain falls and disappears into the earth, carving underground rivers, forming deep, still pools of water open to the sky. The Maya called them cenotes, and to the Maya, they were not simply water, they were doorways, portals to the world beneath the living, where gods waited and ancestors whispered. This is where their story begins. To walk through a Maya city is to understand ambition in its purest form. Each city was a world unto itself, a kingdom with its own name, its own blood, its own stars, and each one left a mark on history that time has struggled and failed to erase. Tikal, the jungle giant. Deep in the Petén jungle of Guatemala, where the trees rise 40 meters toward the sky and the air sits heavy with heat and moisture, stood the greatest city the Maya world ever produced, Tikal. At its height, between 600 and 900 CE, more than 100,000 souls called it home. Its temples did not merely rise above the jungle, they conquered it. Limestone walls catching the sun like mirrors of power, visible for miles in every direction. Tikal was not built for comfort. It was built to declare, we are here, we are mighty, and we will not be forgotten. The city covered more than 60 square kilometers. At its heart, the Great Plaza, an open expanse of stone where the two greatest temples faced each other across the silence. Temple 1, known as the Temple of the Great Jaguar, rose 55 meters into the sky. Its summit held a single chamber, a place where priests stood above the clouds and spoke to gods. Facing it across the plaza, Temple 2, the Temple of the Masks, built, many believe, by a king for the wife he could not stop grieving. Beneath the city, an elaborate system of reservoirs collected every drop of rain that fell. Engineers, and because that is what they were, calculated the flow of water across stone surfaces, directing it into cisterns that could sustain the population through months of dry season. In a land with no rivers, water was life. And Tikal's engineers mastered it. Its greatest ruler, Jasalchankawil I, took the throne in 682 CE. A warrior, a builder, a man who pulled Tikal from a century of shadow, a period of dominance by its great rival, Calakmul, and returned it to supremacy. In 695 CE, he captured the king of Calakmul itself, the humiliation of a rival who had humiliated Tikal for generations. He built Temple 1 as his own tomb. He wanted to be buried at the center of the city he had saved, and so he was. Tikal was not merely a city, it was a statement, written in stone, 100 meters tall. Palenque, the city of eternal elegance. A different world entirely. Nestled in the foothills of the Chiapas highlands, where the mountains meet the lowland jungle and mist rolls through the valleys in the early morning, Palenque was built not to overwhelm, but to astonish. Where Tikal was power, Palenque was poetry. Its architecture was unlike anything else in the Maya world. The buildings were lighter, more graceful, with tall roof combs that resembled lacework against the sky. Its aqueducts, actual underground channels cut through stone, carried a river beneath the city, controlling its flow even in the heaviest rains. The engineers of Palenque did not simply live beside nature, they redirected it. But the soul of Palenque was its greatest king, Kinich Janab Pakal, known to history simply as Pakal the Great. He came to the throne as a child of 12. He died at the age of 80. In between, he ruled for 68 years, one of the longest reigns of any ruler in the ancient world. He was not merely a king, he was a patron of beauty. Under his reign, Palenque became a center of art, architecture, and recorded history. He commissioned the palace, a sprawling complex of galleries, courtyards, and a 4-story tower that functioned as both residence and astronomical observatory. And when he knew death was approaching, he built his own memorial. The Temple of the Inscriptions, a 9-stepped pyramid rising from the jungle floor, its walls covered in the longest hieroglyphic text ever found at a Maya site. A record of Palenque's royal dynasty stretching back into mythological time. Beneath it, at the end of a hidden staircase sealed for 13 centuries, lay his tomb. Mexican archaeologist Alberto Ruzluilier discovered it in 1952 after 4 seasons of carefully removing rubble from that staircase. When he finally entered the burial chamber, he found a room of jade green and cinnabar red. Pakal's body covered in jade mosaic, a jade mask over his face, jade rings on every finger, and on the lid of his sarcophagus, one of the most analyzed images in all of ancient art, the king falling backward into the jaws of the underworld, with the world tree rising from his body, connecting earth to heaven. Pakal did not fear death. He had already written what came after. Copan, the city of sculptors. Travel east through Guatemala and into the highlands of Honduras, and you will find a valley where a river winds between green hills and the air carries the smell of pine. This is Copan, and it speaks to you in stone faces. More than any other Maya city, Copan was a place of artists. Its sculptors worked in a style unlike anywhere else in the Maya world, 3-dimensional, deeply carved, almost Baroque in their complexity. While other cities recorded their rulers in flat relief, Copan's stelae stepped forward from the stone as if the kings themselves were trying to walk free. The most celebrated of those kings was Waxaclajun Ub'a Kawil, known in the archaeological record as 18 Rabbit for the glyphs that composed his name. He ruled for 43 years, from 695 to 738 CE. In that time, he commissioned more great monuments than any other ruler in Copan's history. The stelae that fill the Great Plaza today, massive, breathtaking portraits in stone, are largely his vision made permanent. He was, in many ways, the greatest patron of sculpture the Maya world ever produced. And yet his story ended in humiliation. In 738 CE, 18 Rabbit was captured by the ruler of a smaller, lesser city, Quirigua, a vassal state that had grown tired of Copan's dominance. He was taken and he was beheaded, a great king, ended not in battle but in execution. Copan also housed one of the Maya world's greatest intellectual achievements, the hieroglyphic stairway, a staircase of 63 steps, each carved with glyphs, together composing the longest single hieroglyphic text ever discovered. Roughly 2,000 individual glyphs recording the complete dynastic history of Copan's royal line. A library built into the architecture of the city itself. Chichen Itza, the city of the sacred well. In the flat northern Yucatan, where the jungle grows low and scrubby and the horizon seems impossibly wide, rose a city that became the crossroads of the Maya world, Chichen Itza. Its name means, roughly, at the mouth of the well of the Itza. The well in question was a cenote, a vast natural sinkhole 40 meters wide and 20 meters deep, into which the Maya cast offerings of jade, gold, incense, and sometimes human being, in prayer for rain. But the cenote was only one of Chichen Itza's wonders. At the city's heart stood the pyramid of Kukulkan, called El Castillo by the Spanish, a perfect step pyramid 90 meters wide at its base and 30 meters tall. It has 4 staircases, one on each side, each with 91 steps. Together with the shared top platform, 365 steps total, one for every day of the year. This was not coincidence. Twice a year, at the spring and autumn equinoxes, the afternoon sun casts a shadow along the northern staircase that creates the illusion of a serpent, undulating, descending, joining the carved stone serpent heads at the pyramid's base. Kukulkan, the feathered serpent god, returning to earth. The pyramid was not only a temple, it was a calendar. It was a message built to be read not in words but in light and shadow, once every 6 months, forever. Chichen Itza also contained the largest ball court in the entire Maya world, over 160 meters long, closed by walls 8 meters high, with stone rings mounted vertically near the top. Players drove a heavy rubber ball through those rings using only hips, elbows, and knees. The acoustics of the court are so precise that a whisper at one end can be heard clearly at the other, 60 meters away. Whether this was intentional or simply the consequence of extraordinary craftsmanship, no one can say with certainty. Both answers are humbling. Uxmal, the city of 3 builders. In the rolling hills of the Puc region, a rare landscape of gentle elevation, in the otherwise flat Yucatan, Uxmal rose as a city of extraordinary beauty. Its name, in one interpretation, means thrice built, a reference to the Maya belief that it had been constructed, destroyed, and rebuilt 3 times. Whether or not that is true, what stands today is enough. The Pyramid of the Magician is unlike any other structure in the Maya world. Its base is oval, not rectangular, not square, a shape that breaks every convention of Maya architecture. It rises sharply, almost vertiginously, at an angle steeper than any pyramid in Egypt. Legend says it was built in a single night by a dwarf hatched from an egg. Archaeology says otherwise. But standing at its base, looking up, the legend feels entirely possible. The nunnery quadrangle, named by Spanish monks who saw in it the resemblance of a convent, is a complex of 4 long buildings arranged around a central courtyard. Every surface is covered in intricate stone mosaic, masks of the rain god Chak, serpents, geometric patterns, lattices. Thousands of individually carved stones fitted together without mortar, forming images that only reveal themselves when you step back far enough to see the whole. Uxmal's architecture carries a message about power, about the cosmos, about the relationship between the human and the divine. It whispers that message from every surface. You just have to know how to listen. Calakmul, the snake kingdom. If Tikal was the jaguar of the Maya world, then Calakmul was the serpent. Deep in the jungle of what is now the Mexican state of Campeche, in one of the most remote and inaccessible regions of the entire Maya lowlands, Calakmul rose to become Tikal's greatest rival. Its ruling dynasty bore the emblem of the snakehead, the Khan dynasty, the Snake Kingdom. For much of the classic period, Calakmul did not fight Tikal directly. It was more patient than that, more dangerous. Its rulers built a network of alliances, client states, vassal cities, political marriages, that slowly, methodically encircled Tikal. Cities that had been Tikal's friends became Calakmul's allies. Trade routes were redirected, armies were positioned. Its greatest ruler, Yuknum Chi'in II, known as Yuknum the Great, reigned for nearly 50 years in the 7th century. Under his leadership, Calakmul reached its maximum influence, controlling a network of cities across the southern Maya lowlands. In 657 CE, he struck Tikal directly. In 679 CE, he struck again. For a generation, Tikal bent under the weight of Calakmul's dominance, until Jasar Chankawil rose and answered. Calakmul contains more Maya structures than any other known site, over 6,000 recorded buildings. Its Great Pyramid is the largest by volume in the entire Maya world. Yet for decades, it was almost unknown, hidden beneath such dense jungle that even aerial surveys missed it. It was only fully mapped in the modern era, and still, much of it remains beneath the trees. The Snake Kingdom is still keeping its secrets. Quirigua, the ambitious vassal. Quirigua does not announce itself the way Tikal or Chichen Itza do. It sits in a river valley in eastern Guatemala, modest in size, modest in military history. By most measures, it was a secondary city, a vassal of the much greater Copan, which lay only 50 kilometers to the south. And yet Quirigua contains something found nowhere else in the Maya world. Its stelae are the tallest ever erected. Stela A, carved in the early 8th century, stands over 10 meters above the ground, with several more meters buried beneath the earth. It is the largest single piece of carved stone in all of Mesoamerica, and every centimeter of it is covered in glyphs and portraiture of extraordinary refinement. Quirigua's moment of destiny came in 738 CE, when its ruler, Kak Tiliv Chan Yopat, captured and executed 18 Rabbit of Copan, a king many times more powerful than himself. How a small city defeated a great one remains one of the Maya world's enduring mysteries. Well, after that moment, Quirigua flourished. Freed from Copan's shadow, its rulers commissioned the great monuments that still stand today. A city that won its independence in a single act of extraordinary audacity, and spent the next century carving that victory into stone that would last forever. Karakol, the unseen giant. For most of the 20th century, archaeologists did not fully understand how large Karakol truly was. Located in the forests of what is now western Belize, Karakol was known, but its true extent was obscured by the jungle's refusal to reveal itself to conventional survey methods. It was mapped slowly, laboriously, on foot, structure by structure. Then in 2010, LiDAR technology swept the forest, and the scale of Karakol became visible. The city stretched across nearly 200 square kilometers. Its population, at its height, may have exceeded 150,000 people, larger than Tikal, possibly the largest city in the classic Maya world. It was connected by an extraordinary network of sakbe, raised causeways, built from limestone and plaster, running in straight lines through the jungle, connecting neighborhoods, markets, and ceremonial centers across the vast urban landscape. Karakol also fought Tikal and won. In 562 CE, Karakol, in alliance with Calakmul, defeated Tikal in a war whose consequences echoed for over a century. Tikal's monuments stopped being erected, its rulers stopped leaving records. The city entered what archaeologists call its hiatus, a generation of silence in the historical record. Karakol had brought the jungle giant to its knees. the city that the jungle hid for so long, the city that defeated the greatest power of its age. Caracol asks us to remember the Maya world was larger, more complex, and more surprising than any map we have drawn of it. If there is one achievement that separates the Maya from all other ancient civilizations, it may be this: their mastery of time. The Maya calendar was not one calendar, it was many, layered upon each other like the rings of a great tree. The Tzolk'in, a sacred 260-day cycle used by priests to divine fate. The Hab, a 365-day agricultural calendar governing the planting and harvest of the land, and beneath both, the Long Count, a cycle stretching 5,126 years, a river of time so vast it humbled even the greatest kings. That cycle ended, or rather renewed, on December 21st, 2012. The world did not end. The Maya never said it would. A new cycle simply began, as it always had. The Maya also gave the world something Europe would not discover for centuries: the concept of zero. Not merely an absence, a number, a foundation. Without it, modern mathematics cannot stand, the Maya wrote. In a world where most civilizations kept oral records, the Maya developed one of the most sophisticated writing systems ever created. A combination of logograms and syllabic symbols capable of expressing anything the human mind could conceive. Their scribes were not mere clerks, they were scholars, artists, historians, keepers of memory in a world that had no printing press. They produced codices, folded books made from fig bark, filled with astronomical tables, religious texts, and the recorded voices of rulers long dead. Most were burned. When the Spanish arrived in the 16th century, Bishop Diego de Landa ordered the codices destroyed. In a single act, centuries of knowledge turned to ash. Only 4 survived: the Dresden Codex, the Madrid Codex, the Paris Codex, the Grolier Codex. 4 windows into a library that once held the world. The Maya universe was not a place of silence. It was alive with gods. At the summit of the pantheon stood Itzamna, the creator, lord of sky, sun, and moon. The Maya believed he had not only made the universe, but had given humanity its 2 greatest gifts, the calendar and the written word. There was Kukulkan, the feathered serpent, lord of wind, rain, and the morning star. His presence reached across the Maya world, his temples rising in city after city. And there was Ixchel, goddess of the moon and of healing. Kinich Ahau, the sun god, who crossed the sky each day and plunged into the underworld each night, only to rise again at dawn. The Maya believed the gods had sacrificed themselves to create humanity, and so humanity owed a debt, paid in blood. Bloodletting was not cruelty, it was devotion. Rulers would pierce their own flesh and offer what flowed. On the greatest occasions, the dedication of a temple, the coronation of a king, human lives were given. A terrible gift, but in the Maya worldview, a necessary one. The gods had given everything. The Maya gave what they could. In the 9th century CE, something broke. One by one, the great cities of the southern lowlands went silent. Tikal, Copan, Palenque. The kings stopped commissioning monuments. The priests stopped recording dates. The people left. Where did they go? Why did they leave? Scholars still debate. The answers are likely plural. Overpopulation had pushed the land past its limits. Soil, exhausted from centuries of farming, yielded less each harvest. Forests, stripped for fuel and construction, no longer held the rains. Droughts, lasting not years but decades, turned farmland to dust, And through it all, the city-states kept fighting each other, not skirmishes, wars, devastating generational wars that drained armies and emptied treasuries. There was no single catastrophe, there rarely is. It was the slow, grinding weight of too many problems arriving all at once. The cities were not destroyed, they were simply abandoned. And the jungle, patient as always, moved back in. The Maya had already been in decline for centuries when the Spanish arrived, but they were not gone. In the Yucatan, cities still stood, people still prayed, still traded, still lived. The Spanish came with steel and with disease. Smallpox moved faster than any army. Villages that had never seen a European soldier fell to a sickness they had no name for. Populations that had endured 1,000 years of drought and warfare collapsed within a generation. What war did not take? Religion did. The temples were torn down, the codices were burned, the Maya were forced to kneel before a foreign god and speak a foreign language. They knelt, but they did not break. Today, more than 7 million Maya people live across Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador. They speak Maya languages, they observe Maya traditions, they carry in their blood and their memory the longest unbroken thread of this civilization story. The temples still stand, the codices are still studied, the writing system, once thought forever lost, was deciphered in the 20th century, and the voices of kings dead for 1,000 years can be heard again. And in 2018, LiDAR technology swept across the jungle canopy and revealed something extraordinary. Beneath the trees, hidden for centuries, thousands of structures, roads, canals, an entire urban landscape no one had seen. The Maya world was far larger than we imagined. It always was. The Maya watched the stars, not with telescopes, not with satellites, with patient eyes and careful minds, generation after generation, recording what they saw with a precision that still astonishes us. They believed time moved in cycles, that nothing truly ends, it only transforms, that the dead become stars and the stars watch over the living. Perhaps they were right. Somewhere above the jungle tonight, the same stars rise that Pakal watched from Palenque. The same Venus that Kukulkan embodied crosses the sky. The same moon that Ixchel ruled pulls at the tides. The Maya are still here, in the stones, in the stars, in the people who carry their name. Good night.